Welcome to AI Your Practice, the podcast exploring how AI is changing the business side of running a healthcare practice. I'm Carolyn Dean, founder of Trilby AI, dental marketing strategist, speaker, and somebody who spent more than 20 years working alongside dental and healthcare practices. In this podcast, I sit down with practice owners, AI innovators, industry leaders, technology experts, and explore how AI is transforming the business side of healthcare. Together, we'll cover AI and innovation in patient communication, marketing, operations, compliance, and what it actually means to run a modern practice. Right now, most practices are stretched across too many roles, and AI is rapidly changing what's possible. So whether you're AI curious, already experimenting, or simply trying to work out what all of this means for your practice, you're in the right place. Because AI should reduce overwhelm and not add to it. I'm Carolyn Dean, and this is AI Your Practice. Hi, Jerry. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been really hard to pin you down, so I'm pleased that you made it.
Thank you for having me, Carolyn. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you. So for our listeners and people that haven't met you yet, can you briefly give me a bit of your history? And
yes, no problem at all. And if I'm not brief enough, please cut me short.
I will.
And obviously you know a bit of my backstory, Carolyn, but for those that are listening that don't know about me or Evoke Projects or Practice Success, so just long story short, I grew up in a family business. My dad was an engineer.
Okay.
That led us down the path of construction, and that is how we ended up working in design and construction of healthcare.
Okay.
So healthcare facilities, whether that be dental, veterinary, day hospital, you name it. And I suppose an extension to that is even laboratory. So anything, if you think about that's a bit more complex, that requires external certification or accreditation, that's us. And
how long have you been in the game then? How long has Evoke been in business?
So my father started the business in 1969, long before I was thought of.
Wow.
And youngest of 5 boys. Okay. We all came through the business, diversified over the years. We tried working together.
Yeah.
Didn't work forever.
I was going to say, how did that work out?
We have now gone our separate ways, and one is in childcare early resources fit outs.
Yeah.
One is in furniture and joinery, and we are in the design and construct. So when I say we, it's myself and my team, but also now my 2 sons, next generation.
Sons.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
3 generations.
Yep. And I think what got us into healthcare, and it's interesting because it's an innovation just prior to COVID that we've always done a little bit in healthcare, but primarily it was workplace, commercial workplace, was interestingly a health situation that I had myself, which took me through the health system. And what the epiphany was that whilst healthcare is about healthcare, it was lacking in what we call well-being and improving well-being of the occupants of every space.
100%.
There was such an opportunity because here, that was the irony of it, is that healthcare is very much focused around patient experience.
Yes.
But often lacking in the human journey of the team members, the doctors, but also the patients. You know, from a healing perspective in environments, well-being was often lacking. So I think, people can relate to the analogy of environments that we put plants in.
Yeah.
You know, clinical environments traditionally were sterile, were very functional, operationally efficient, accredited wise, great.
Yeah.
But without that human piece and without that environmental design, it was often lacking. So that's where we had opportunity to go, we can actually implement so much within these industries and these sectors and these modalities that just isn't there.
So tell me, the podcast is all about innovation, as you're aware. Tell me, what are you seeing as the innovation in this space? What have you done? What are the changes in the times?
Good question, because innovation is one of our key strategic pillars. obviously we're in design.
Yeah.
And design, we are first and foremost a design and architectural company with construction capability. So from a design perspective, innovation is absolutely first and foremost in every practice that we work with.
Yeah, great.
So to answer your question, what are we seeing in innovation? I think the key thing that we're seeing a major shift as while we're here today is AI.
Okay.
Appetite to embrace AI
Yeah.
is obviously a differential across modalities. And I think that probably comes back to, I always look at it, it's not about taking the human out of it.
Yes.
It's usually where there's operational chaos or operational angst or frustration is where there's the most appetite to embrace AI, 100%. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you might say, well, how's AI affect design? So
I will. Tell me, how does it?
So potentially in lots of ways.
Okay.
I suppose the technology piece has always been there prior to the AI boom of the last 12 to 24 months.
Yep.
And that might be through the lens of, patient booking systems, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And in essence, that was trying to do something partially what AI is doing, and that is taking out administration overload.
Yes.
But we're now seeing it on steroids. And where do we see that changing how that affects design? And it's probably around more of those admin spaces. Okay. Less of those admin spaces, potentially less of the waiting room spaces. And if we can free up that underutilised space, if you like, from a revenue generation point of view or a patient care point of view, then we can actually almost, if you like, increase the output of a clinic or a healthcare facility based on where can we actually turn space that isn't required into revenue generating. Yeah.
So you're saying, playing this back, that you are able to shrink waiting room areas, shrink admin space, and increase treatment space.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the other thing to note here, which we're big believers in, and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of wellplaces, but I feel that is an innovation piece that we could possibly touch on. But I think the key thing in all of this is that AI is not to remove the human touch. And the humans within a practice, we need to give them the spaces they need to thrive.
Yeah.
That is to operate better, to implement, whether it's procedures, whether it's clinical, or whether it's operational.
Yeah, patient journey.
Patient journey, 100%. Because that's often an area that's lacking.
Yes. Yes.
For those back of house areas to break out. I think that's probably the key thing that we've seen in healthcare versus traditional workplace. Yeah. Is that the people are not always put first because the patient is.
100%.
So how that can tend to look is that those team areas, team focus areas, team breakout areas, training areas are normally tried to pushed into a corner.
Oh, I've seen
the
so
Harry
many
Potter room.
Horrendous rooms. The lunch room, which is the lunch cupboards.
Exactly right. And I think, so interestingly, it'd be interesting to get your thoughts on that because you've seen a lot of practices and how that works. But, does that answer your question, big picture? We can probably go down some...
That's amazing because I've actually never thought about AI having such an impact. So for us, we think about AI as relieving the admin burden.
Cognitive overload.
Cognitive overload, exactly. And by removing the admin burden, allowing the teams to spend more time with their patients. Because for us, AI, I think, allows people to be more human because it takes the less human elements of the job, the filling in forms, the doing the social media, the compliance, the checking, like all of this stuff that delivers nothing to the patient experience.
And it's interesting because I always look at from a team perspective, just in our own business, we often ask the question, what's your highest value contribution?
Okay.
And our highest value contribution as humans is not doing all that stuff. It's human to human.
100%.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Allowing AI to let humans be more humans.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, when you're looking at it from a whatever business you're in, whatever modality you're in, whatever operational structure you've got within your business or operations, if you can use AI to remove all those bits of your business or your process that can be done by a machine, it frees up your humans to do the human-to-human thing that a machine can't, or that AI can't.
We'll never replace humans because humans need humans.
Yep.
Humans don't need admin, my belief.
Well, we're not good at it, right? Most of us.
Very few people are.
Yep.
And it's I was going to say nobody loves admin, but
I think there are some. Just probably not you and me, Carolyn.
I was going to say, that's so true. So, where to go? Modalities. You have a very unique insight, and that's why I was so keen to get you on the podcast, is where are you seeing the greatest uptake? So all of the modalities that you're working with, who are the early adopters?
Early adopters, yeah. And again, I think it probably comes back to the modalities that are under probably the most operational pressure.
Okay,
now,
makes sense.
This is probably a very debatable topic, and I'm probably no one to speak on.
Your view. This is one person's view.
Yeah, and what we're seeing out there is, I would say it's probably where we've seen the most appetite, if you like, is potentially in dental. Okay,
great.
Yep, and that probably, and I want to be careful how I say this, but of all the modalities, dental is probably the most commercially minded of all modalities that we work with.
Great.
So they're, of all modalities, they're the first to look at an ROI.
Yes.
What does this mean for my business?
Yep.
And they think very business-wise versus just clinical.
Yes. Yes.
But having said that, when you look at operational overload, and I think veterinary probably tops the list when it comes to where AI is needed.
Okay, so complexity.
Complexity, yep, 100%. And I think that comes down to just the amount that goes on within a vet practice and a vet hospital, comparatively to some of the other modalities that are very, probably, they're not as broad in what they cover.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about a human walking through the door,
yes,
there's one species.
Yeah.
You look at veterinary and they're working with a lot of different aspects and a very broad coverage. A lot going on. Yeah. If that makes sense.
That's fascinating. Really good. So where are you seeing the biggest shifts right now? So we're going to talk now and we're going to talk future.
Yeah. So right now, and as probably I might preface that question. So is that from an operational perspective within their practices, or from a design perspective of how we design clinics?
Let's go both.
Okay. So I think, and obviously it's early days with AI in private practice.
Very early.
So to look at how much people, I think it's probably more about the appetite versus how much is being implemented. So obviously there's systems out there, scribe, note takers, all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
The likes of, there's many without mentioning names. Of, tools that, and I would say GP, we've noticed a big take up on that.
Okay.
Early adopting.
Yeah.
And
the biggest uptake?
Yeah. And I think that's possibly, I don't know what the reasoning is behind that, except that there's some AI startups that have been quite passionate and aggressive in that space in pushing into that modality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think that's probably from where we're seeing the most traction. I would say from an interest perspective.
I was going to say interest.
Interest, I would say probably dental.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's not just to put Trilby on a on a pedestal, but I think what Trilby has to offer and what you've shown me of Trilby is going to be a game changer for the dental industry.
Thank you.
From an ROI point of view of, what can we get? Every human within a practice is outputting.
Yes.
How can we increase the output of every person within a practice?
Yes.
And that's whether that's admin, whether that's clinical.
Yeah.
I think obviously your AI comes from the operational and the admin and the marketing aspect of it.
20 years of pain.
100%. And I think that's probably a gap we've seen in the market. There's a lot of AI and technology out there for the clinical aspects of it. And we've seen that probably over the last 24 months.
Yeah. So.
Really a big uptick on that. So I'm going to rephrase that whole thing. So from early adopters, I would say operationally general practice.
Yes.
Early adopters from clinical.
Yep.
What we've noticed, just from our perspective, is dental.
Okay.
But there is a gap in that operational. So I'd say the appetite is massive there in dental.
Yes.
There just hasn't been the same tools.
Yeah, it's
that
not
are
delivering
absolutely honed and created.
Yes.
For the dental industry, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great.
And I mean, is that what you're
It's what we're seeing. And so since we last spoke, we have started surveying, and we have quantitative, qualitative data. And interestingly enough, the one data point is that we've asked the dental industry, dental professionals, are you interested in AI specific for dental? And 100% have said yes.
Yep, and that's not surprising.
Yeah.
So then to cap off on the modalities, if we look at those three key, dental, GP, veterinary, I would say veterinary is probably the area that needs it the most.
Okay.
But has the least product offering.
Yeah.
There are some offerings coming through, and I think veterinary is probably one of those modalities that once the value that could add to their practices is immense, huge, massive, game-changing.
Yeah.
Not only for the clinicians and the practitioners and the vets, but also for the admin teams and the support staff around those professionals. Yeah.
Amazing insights. Really, really interesting. Thank you. So that's where we are now, and I'm seeing changes of what's coming online. So the AI receptionist is one that at ADX recently, I think there was 7 providers. So I'm seeing spikes and saturation in areas. What's your belief of where we should be developing? My view of AI, and I will repeat it again, is people don't really want to talk to machines. They want to talk to humans. So for me, I have questions about AI receptionists, and I have questions about whether every single one of your phone calls should be going through to an AI receptionist.
Or a bot.
Or whether it should be the overload, or whether it should be the out of hours, or whether it should be people cancelling. New patients don't want to talk to a bot. Yep.
So my answer to that, and I look at it very simplistically if I put my patient hat on.
Great. Put that patient hat on.
Take the obviously the industry insights from a design and construction perspective out of the equation, just as a patient. And I think it comes back to what we said earlier about that human to human.
Yes.
So and even within our business, that's one thing we're very, very, very cognizant of, the fact that we do not want to remove the human-to-human touch.
Yes.
Because that is irreplaceable, we believe.
Yeah.
And from a patient perspective, if I'm on a patient journey, that human-to-human, there's nothing can replace that.
Yeah, I agree.
It is about connection. It is about, when we talk about design, and I don't want to go off topic, but
no.
It is massively about connection.
Yes.
And creating places to belong, to heal, to perform.
Yes.
Depending on whether you're a patient or a clinician.
Yeah.
or a support team member, you know, it's that human connection aspect where we're designing and building environments that allow for human to human touch points.
Yes.
You know, where we see AI from a patient perspective, all that back of house, all that frustration, all that admin, fine.
Yes.
Do it with AI. Don't take away my human to human touch where I want to feel valued as a patient.
Yes.
I want to talk to a human because I feel that connection and I feel like I'm getting better care, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's only my perspective as a patient.
I agree. And as you're aware, one of the tools that we're building is the SOP tool, the operational tool. And the idea behind that specific tool, as you know, is so the practice manager or the person that holds all of the information isn't being asked 24 hours a day about the small questions, the things that the high turnover of staff means that it's not in everybody's head. What I hadn't thought about of the impact of that is the practice manager can then start delivering higher order thinking and have proper conversations with the teams that are not just bitty and answering questions and to think more strategically.
Absolutely. And can I add to that is having the time to train their team and connect with their team and lead their team. Yeah. Because it's that leadership and it's that one-on-one training and check-ins and professional development within their role.
Yes.
And I think that probably comes back, I wanted to come back to that, was you mentioned turnover, high turnover.
I was going to say the same thing.
I see AI as a real, having a real impact on helping to reduce staff turnover.
Yes.
Because the clarity that comes with having SOPs updated at the drop of a hat, having access to
instant
team leadership without feeling like you're being a burden or pain.
Yes. Yeah.
All helps to make them feel like they belong, like they're needed, they're required.
Yeah.
And having those one-on-one conversations.
Yes.
You know, AI is only going to help take away the workload that isn't required for that human to human and give them more time for that.
Yes.
So that's just from a team perspective, let alone the patient experience.
Yes, exactly. It's it's not double-edged sword. It's
a win-win.
It is a win-win.
Yep.
And then with you guys building spaces that the team can connect.
Absolutely.
And can have
I think that does a big circle back to having those spaces for the team.
Yes.
To actually use for one-on-one training, you know, leadership, one-on-one coaching, and really getting the best out of. So AI can help us create systems, processes, SOPs, have everything actually penned down. And then it's about alleviating all that so that they can actually, the team leader can spend time with their team to connect on a human level and go, what does good look like? Is this clear?
Yeah.
You know, and what frustrations, what's not working for you, and having those conversations that will potentially eliminate or reduce turnover.
Incredible. Really incredible.
And I suppose the reason that is we're very passionate about retention and turnover and attraction and retention of teams is that we believe the physical environment is like the soil that your team grow in. So when I say team, people, doctors, clinicians, you know, we're all on a journey as humans within a space.
Yes.
And when you design a space for the people within that space, it becomes a place. So that's a place to whatever they're doing in that space.
Yes.
So that's a place to thrive, a place to heal from a patient perspective, a place to belong for the team members, but also a place for clinicians to connect with other clinicians and their team. You know, so I think from our perspective, AI is going to help us or our clients, our practice owners, get a better result out of the well places that we create. So we can give them the physical tools, we can't give them the behaviours and the processes and that's where I think AI can actually take it to another level.
It's almost like it's a a relationship made in heaven.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible. Question I'm dying to ask is the reception area. So let's go forward and think about the reception area for the future. So I was involved in an organisation that did, at the time, groundbreaking, or I thought it was groundbreaking. So they didn't have a reception area. They had a concierge area. And patients came in and they swiped to confirm that they were there. They had not a receptionist, they had a concierge. It was like a lounge. It was beautiful. Yep. There was drinks. There was everything that you would expect, I guess, from a day spa. Yep. But this was a dental practice.
Yep.
So the conversations I'm having right now, and it goes two ways, is if there is no admin burden for the receptionist, if people are able to swipe in, check out seamlessly, digitally, is that one area. The other area that I'm hearing is, but what if I had, and I've been asked about this, a hologram receptionist? And what if it is completely digital? And what if there is nobody there? So I'm hearing and seeing people experimenting, people thinking about what the reception area of the future could look like. You are living and breathing this. What's your view?
Okay. So the innovation side of me, which is massive for me, I love the concept of embracing hologram. The human side of me, from a patient perspective,
yes,
I feel like it will never replace the real deal.
Yes.
There's something that when you and me, two of us, get in a room, is even different to on a Zoom.
Yeah.
So there's just something that you cannot explain when it comes to connection and feeling heard and feeling respected and feeling like you're on a journey where you feel special.
Yes.
So if a hologram was to welcome me and maybe even walk me down the hall to where I need to go, I don't think I'd be feeling that connection. So I think that really comes back to when it comes to technology and AI. I might be wrong, but I feel it's that human connection touch points that AI will never replace, in my view.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I say go to town on everything else.
I'll send you the link to the hologram people. It's there and it's
incredible.
It's out.
And look, I would say shout out to those that are doing it for embracing AI and technology, and it's worth a try.
Yes.
But it'd be interesting to get some feedback from the people.
From the patients.
Of how they feel compared to having a human. And just going back to the concierge aspect of it, to be honest, I see the reduction of number of people is not a problem.
Yeah.
Front of house.
Yes.
As long as I can feel like I'm a one and only when I walk in that door. Yeah. And there's enough people at the concierge counter to greet every single one that walks through that door. Because I always look at it, we're big believers that we're all on an emotional journey. It doesn't matter whether we're a patient or a team member or a doctor or a dentist or a vet. When we open that door every morning, from the time we come walk in to the time we walk out, it is an emotional journey. Mm-hmm. So it may not always be an anxious one, but 9 times out of 10 in healthcare, it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not so much for the team. Hopefully the culture is such that everyone bounds into work loving their job and they're doing it in the most beautiful space that allows them to operate at their best. But unfortunately, probably 75% of the time that's not the case.
Yeah.
And I think as designers, it's like a duty of care for us to really understand and unpack what every person, every human within a space needs to function at their best.
Yes.
And to improve that journey from when they enter the door to when they leave. And that's when it becomes a place, not a space.
This is beautiful. I love it. So you haven't mentioned it, but I want to, is practice success, because you do so much more than fit out, design. Tell our listeners a little bit about practice success.
So practice success, and you are right. So whilst design is our passion, construction is a byproduct of the design. And the reason I say that is design is about creating places for people. And if we don't have control of the design, then we don't have control of creating the ultimate outcome. Where we found, and to your point about practice success and the backstory to why practice success exists, was we can give a practice owner the physical space. And a place, if we've thought about the people within it effectively. Where we lack was in giving them access to the behaviours, the strategic planning, the systems, the processes, the software.
Yeah.
So what we found was sometimes it was a bit hit and miss. We were giving them recommendations or what have you.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's go back to 2020 during COVID. That's when the brainchild was created.
Okay.
Was how can we create a network, if you like, of reputable service providers and product providers that provide all those things that we don't.
Yes.
So everyone that a practice owner needs in their corner, that's who we want as part of the Practice Success Network. And furthermore, the whole purpose of Practice Success, as in essence the name, is setting up practice owners for success from day one, wherever they are in their journey. So that could be on a startup, that could be on growth, that could be on succession. So it's giving them access to the people they need in every part of their journey through that practice, their practice owner life, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
And then a byproduct of that, or, it was a chicken or the egg, was the educational aspect of that. So, I think we've talked about this before. I don't know, there might be one or two Medico degrees out there that give you a module on business.
Business and marketing.
Yeah, business and marketing. So it's very, very, it's one of those things that's very rarely taught.
Yes.
Incredibly talented people that become a doctor, a dentist, a vet.
Yeah.
But business is not in the repertoire.
No.
And that's why it's so important to have the right people in your corner or the right people on your bus.
Absolutely.
In order to drive your business to where it needs to get to.
That's great.
So the educational aspect of Practice Success was creating a forum whereby we can have an annual event, an annual summit or a masterclass series where we have panel discussions in key areas of running a business. So for Practice Success, we call it the 5 Ps. That's planning, that's people, place, promotion and process.
Okay.
And obviously for each modality, process is probably the one that's very different to all the others.
Yeah.
Marketing to some degree, promotion.
Yeah.
Because obviously, each modality has its nuances and differences, and so I suppose the ultimate goal of Practice Success is to provide content and education around those 5 Ps.
Amazing.
In setting up, running, or succession of a practice. So getting your practice ready for sale. But the flip side benefit is that our cohort or our community of practice owners have access to these people year round.
That's
that
right.
makes sense.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well done. And so important. So important. So, final 2 questions. So, step into the future. 5 years from now? What do you think the practice of the future is going to look like?
Interesting. I do feel that the practice of the future is a wellplace.
Great.
So whilst we are creating wellplaces now, and by that I mean practices that are designed and built for healthy bodies, healthy minds, and then sustainable healthy places.
Yes.
So what I mean by that is sustainability from an environmental aspect, I think is often a big part of what's missing.
Yes.
And I think the oncoming generation are going to expect it because they care about their kids and their grandkids.
Absolutely.
So sustainability is a massive part of the practice of the future. And the well-being of the occupants. So healthy bodies, healthy minds. So I won't unpack that because we don't have time right now, but I think there's a lot to be We have a framework called the Wellplaces Framework.
Okay.
And we're working on certification for that.
Oh, great.
As a recognition piece for those practices that actually go the extra mile.
Yes.
And that probably comes back to also a attraction retention piece. We want to get it to the point where a practice can wear a badge of honour that they are committing to healthy bodies, healthy minds and sustainable places. So the healthy environments is a bit of a play on words, but it's a healthy environment for the people, healthy environment for the planet.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. And then a technical question. So if you were to talk to a practice that is looking down the barrel of AI innovation, the tsunami that is probably going to hit with the 1,001 tools that they may be looking at, they could be thinking about, what's the piece of advice that you would give to them?
I would say look at the tool that is going to save you the most time with the least amount of effort and training.
Great advice.
So every practice owner is busy. Every practice manager is busy.
Yes.
So if it feels clunky, if it feels hard work, it usually is.
Yes.
Does that answer the question?
That's a great question. Great question. Good answer. Great answer. Jerry, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Carolyn. It's been an absolute honour and lots of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me on AI Your Practice. I hope today's episode gave you something practical to take back to your practice. If it was useful, follow the show, leave a review or share. And if you want to learn more about what we're building at Trilby, go to trilby.ai or contact me on Carolyn S. Dean on any social media channel. Until next time, thanks for listening to AI Your Practice.